7 p.m. Eastern, which means time for another card. So let me just be sure that I'm actually transmitilating over here. I think I am, but I want to be sure. Hi, Jean. Appreciate you coming. And yes, this is a good place on a chilly February evening. Hey, Marva from northeastern New York, where I think you're probably also chilly. We're rainy and it is like, I don't know, 63. So, but with the wet, it felt really kind of chilly when we went out tonight. Hey, Linda. Thank you so much. That's very sweet. Hi, Angie and Carol. Appreciate you guys coming. All right, so this is the card that I gave you the sneak peek of this morning. I feel pretty confident you'd figured out before now that we were going to be playing with these online exclusives that are coming on, what is it, Tuesday? Is that the... Wait, tomorrow's the 26th, 27, 28. Okay, so Wednesday. On Wednesday the 1st, you'll be able to get these. In addition to, I don't even know what else is in the online exclusives. We've got this bundle. We have the classic letters stamp set coming that I know about. And then we have the loose frosted dots. And those are the only ones I know about. There will be more, so you're going to want to tune in first thing on Wednesday the 1st and see what else is going to be available. And I will be seeing right with you. Hi, Donna. Hi, Amy. Hi, Nancy and Barbara and Claire. Appreciate you guys coming. Hi, Rosie. So let's go ahead and get started. Everything will be on my blog tomorrow. So, and with any luck, it'll all be correct, what I put on there. So we'll go ahead and get going. Oh, we also use the Basics 3D embossing folders. There's 3 of them that come with this. So you have this one. This is the one that's kind of flowery. Then there's one that's just a textured look. And then there's the one that has the raised dots, which I think is also pretty fun. But you get all 3 of them for $30 in one pack, and they're all 3D. So pretty cool. I love embossing folders. If you've been watching it all, you know that to be true. All right, let's get our stuffs here. I've done some pre-cutting, aren't you glad? I've got some of the beautiful paper. It's hard for me to cut this one and not use it because I love it, but this is a design that would work perfectly just all by itself as a card front, but I'm using this side, so there you go. All right. I know, the 3D embossing folders are really cool. Now see, my favorite is the texture one, Linda, because I don't know, I just really like it. It's very subtle. And I like it a lot, but I do like the dots too. All right, so this is a full-size panel, which means it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I am just adhering it to the front of the card base. And I really do like to use liquid glue for this because you kind of want it to line up. And then you want to turn it over and look across the edges to see if you have anything sticking out. Because sometimes no matter how good you are, and let's face it, I'm so good. I never make a mistake ever, only when I'm on camera. No matter how good you cut and measure and all of those things, you may get it on a little bit sidewaysy. And if you do, just put it in your trimmer and trim those extra edges off if you see any, okay? But I got lucky this time. Even a blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut, so there you go. And so let's go ahead and double this down and give it a fold. And then we have the card base ready to go. Okay, now I have taken the next to largest of the stitched rectangle dies, and I am going to stamp the splatter image from the Irresistible Blooms stamp set in soft suede. No, this is so not, there is no suede involved in this. There is some soft, but no suede. This is soft seafoam. And so I'm just going to stamp it around a few times, okay? There's not really a lot of rhyme or even any reason, but kind of like that right there. And then I'm going to go off camera stage behind me, and emboss it in that embossing folder, like I said. Little tip about embossing folders. You see this line right here? If you line your cardstock up with that line, that black printed line, like that, then you will know that you are embossing straight. Now, with this particular folder and some of the others, it maybe doesn't matter, but you will have some folders where you want it to be straight because you can tell when it isn't. So I've got it straight. I'm going to emboss this right quick. Hang on just 1 secondo, and I will be right back with you. All right, another little tip is If you are going to stamp a panel that is embossed, you really want to do that before you emboss it. It's very, very difficult to get a good stamping image if you have already embossed your panel. It isn't impossible, but it isn't easy. So take the easy way out, people. Just take the easy way out. All right, so I'm going to use liquid glue here. And we're just going to center this up on, and let's see, I think it wanted to go, nope, that was the right way. We're going to center that up on our card front, like so. All right. So I've done a little die cutting. Aren't you glad? Now this is the next to largest stylish shape circle dies. I'm going to say this again. I said it the other night. I'm saying it again because that is how important it is to me. The stylish shapes dies are on low inventory. Please do not miss them. This is one of the best shapes sets I've ever seen, ever. And if it goes on low inventory, I do not know how long it will take them to get it back, and you just don't need to be without it. Stop the video. If you're watching the replay, stop the video and go watch it right now. And when you get back, you can cut one of these out. This is the next to largest circle die, cut from a piece of the Hello Irresistible DSP, and I'm going to adhere it to my card front. Hey Janice, hi Sue, hi Linda, with some more liquid glue. Using a lot of liquid glue today. All right. Now, one of the cool things, other than the fact that it's stinking gorgeous, the Hello Irresistible gives you the opportunity to die cut flowers and leaves. And the thing that is so cool, a lot of times when we get these DSPs, only like a couple of the images in the DSP have a matching die. That is not the case here. Every single one of these flowers that you see has a matching die. Okay, there's big ones, well, you'll be a lot more convinced. There you go. Even these little tiny ones, if you wanted petal pink flowers or leaves, you could have petal pink leaves. Or you could have soft sea foam and Lost Lagoon leaves. You can have 3-leaf images, and you can have 2-leaf images. Every single image on these sheets cut out, which is awesome because they're gorgeous. And why bother stamping if you can just die cut some pretty stuff, right? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I mean, these are the kinds of things I would fussy cut because they're so cool, but I don't have to. All right, so I went ahead. Oops, let me put this on before I lose it. And die cut. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Carol. Hi, Denise. Yes. The stylish shapes are absolutely one of my go-tos. I've got stitched rectangles and stylish shapes, and I cannot tell you how many cards I make that use both of those on the same card. So I've cut 2 large flowers and a smaller flower, and this one is mostly Flirty Flamingo, mostly Daffodil Delight, mostly Petal Pink, and then I cut 2 3-leaf images and 2 2-leaf images. And these are a combination of what I believe is Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, I think. So we're going to see these colors, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, are going to come in to the next catalog. Yay! And this is Pretty Peacock. Isn't that so beautiful? All right. So now all I'm really going to do is I'm just going to adhere these. I'm going to start stacking stuff up and adhering them with liquid glue. And I'm kind of tucking him under there like that. Now, obviously, I have my sample right here, so I know where everything's going. You won't do that the first time. The first time you run through this, just put it all on and make it do what you want, put it where you want it without adhering it. And when your brain goes, yeah, there it is, then go ahead and start adhering, okay? Don't get ahead of your adhering self. And then we're going to do a 3-leaf right here, like so, like so. Okay, and then the pink one, the Flirty Flamingo. Now, here's a little tip. Even using liquid glue, if you just put the liquid glue in the center of the image, that's still going to make it possible to tuck leaves and flowers in there, okay? So that's what I want you to do, is do that, and that way you can tuck at will. Okay, okay. Side, okay, okay. Thank you, Rosie. I appreciate that. Hey, Zilke. Zilke, did I say that right? I hope I did. If I did not, I apologize, but welcome from Scotland. How fun. All right. And then I'm going to take one of these two bangy bangers, a bangy banger, and tuck it in here like that. Now, you might wonder why I'm not using Stampin' Dimensionals, and that's a valid question. But I am going to have a nice big bow on here, and so I'll have plenty of thickness. I don't really need to do any more thickness. You see what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? Okay. All right, so that's going to tuck in there like that. And then we'll set that aside and let everything get glued up. And there you go. That way you can get a good look at it. And I have a close-up tomorrow for you so you can see how to layer everything up in case you're interested. But I should probably get that glue off that I just transferred with my big old finger. With my big old finger onto the back. I did. I got a little bit of glue right there on the back with my big old finger. There we go. Okay. There, let's set that aside. And then I have a piece of basic white. And I am going to stamp the Hello sentiment in Floaty Flamingo. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. Thanks, Karen. We're going to stamp this. This is just the prettiest darn set. And what I love is, well, I can't help it. I love being able to cut out things from DSP without having to fussy cut it. Because we really do, our artists make such beautiful, beautiful images, and being able to just cut them right out with the few turns of my cranker handle makes me happy. Okay, so this is the die we're using. I would say it was like the third largest, I don't know, smallest, next biggest, I don't know. You decide how you want to look at it. It's the one that fits the best, okay? Use the one that fits the best. So I'm going to go cut that out. Hang on just a second. I'll be right back. Murmur amongst yourselves. But don't let me hear you. That's funny because I can't hear you anyway. That's why that was funny. It's because I can't hear you anyway. I wish I could. We should do these as Zoom meetings, shouldn't we? We should do these as Zoom so that people can talk and ask questions. How many of you would like to do this via Zoom? Would you ever want to do this via Zoom? I don't know. That would be fun, wouldn't it? I think that would be kind of fun. Okay, before I put that on, I'm going to make us another one of my Farrah Fawcett bows. Let me show you a little trick. I've seen some people who've been having problems. When the linen thread comes off the spool, it's really crinkly. So if you just take it and put your thumb against your bone folder with the thread between it and pull that through a few times, it helps dekinkify it. And that will make your life much happier, I promise. All right. Okay, so maybe we can try that. I have to see how many people I can have because that would be fun. Maybe we'll add that as a thing. Okay, all right, so here's how to make a double loop linen thread bow. We're gonna hold our linen thread between our thumb and forefinger. We're gonna wrap around 4 times around 4 fingers. So there's 1, and here's the thing. If you want a really wide bow, spread your fingers out like that. If you want a narrow bow, just scrunch them up. You can even scrunch them like that. Okay, so you can kind of dictate how big, wide a bow you want by how far apart you put your fingers. So let me start that again because I've got it all boggered now because we're going to go right about regular. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 times around 4 fingers, okay? And then do 4 times around 2 fingers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold it between your thumb and forefinger and carefully pull the loops off. Okay, then you can cut and then hold on to it. Keep holding it. If you let it go, it is going to run away. I assure you, it will go and that'll be it. Then you have a loop within a loop, right? So we're going to take this edge and we're going to take a hold of this other edge. So now I know that's a math thing right there, but I don't remember what it's called, okay? And then I'm going to bring this hand over and twist, and we're going to make a figure 8 like that. Okay, you see the figure 8? And now I'm going to take my tweezers. 300, that ought to work. And I'm going to use my tweezers as a third hand. You know, I learned that little trick a long time ago. I was at Dugway Proving Ground. Time for a story. No, I did not mean corn pop, but this is better. I was doing a video, and I had not learned this trick yet. And so I was trying to hold it down on my desk and get the tie thread through it. And somebody said a comment, and she said, use your tweezers to hold it. And I'm like, oh my God, duh. Except now I've made a mess of it because I've been yakking. So at that point, I realized that I can hold the bow with my tweezers, and you can actually set it down because of the way these tweezers are built. It was a life-changing moment, I'm just saying. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, carefully take it off. Hold the 2 loops, bring the edges together, twist, and make a figure 8. Now, if any of you are thinking, oh my gosh, that's just too complicated, trust me, it's not, because if it was, I couldn't do it. Are the first 3 or 4 you do going to be complicated? Of course, any new skill is complicated, but after that, once you've done it a few times, you'll be like, gosh, this is the best bow ever, because it always looks awesome. Like Farrah's hair, it always looks awesome. Okay, here we go. Y'all, we watched Top Gun Maverick again. Actually, we've watched it twice now in the last 3 days, and that's the second and third time we'd seen it. My goodness. Tom Cruise has aged quite nicely. And then we decided we should watch the regular Top Gun again. You know, it's kind of out of order, but we did. And oh my gosh, he was so young. He was such a little baby in that first one. It was crazy. I'm sorry, but he was really not that believable as an experienced Top Gun fighter pilot. He wasn't near old enough. I mean, he was, I'm certain, but he didn't look it. But he does do pretty good in fast pants and a flight suit, I'm just saying. Okay, so once you get that tied off, I just did a double overhand knot. You're just going to play with it a little bit and kind of spread it out until it looks like you want. Think Farrah Fawcett's tousled hair. It will take you less time to make this bow than I'm certain her hair and makeup took her on all of her TV shows. And then we're just going to use a little bit of liquid glue. Yep, Sherry, just practice it and you will get it. And once you get it, you will never go back. I will tell you, here's a tip from me to you, us to you, me to you, me to you all, me to use, guys. Linen thread is the preferred medium, okay? I have made these with baker's twine, but it's just not as easy, all right? The twine just does not play well as a double loop linen thread bow, well, or as a double loop baker's twine bow. Okay, so I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm using the liquid glue because it adds just a little bit less dimension than a glue dot does, all right? But you need to hold it a second because it takes the glue a few seconds to realize, oh, you want me to hold that down. Okay, I can do that. I guess I can do that. Now, whenever I go over a double loop linen thread bow, actually almost over any bow, just because it can be very, very thick, all of them can, no matter how little or big, they can all be pretty thick. I use a double stack of dimensionals. And I feel still pretty pious about it because of my half dimensionals. Actually, it's not a savings of dimensionals at all. Mostly I do these in half because they're just a little easier to deal with size-wise. And yes, I could use minis, but me and minis, we don't get along very good. My fingers just don't like them very much. So when you're putting your dimensionals on, I like to put them on the card front, not on the sentiment, because then I can work around my bow a lot easier. So when you put them on, first you want to do a double check to be sure you're not showing. Nobody wants their skirt to show. Come on, yes, Kay, you can absolutely do this bow, I promise. So once you have your base down and you know you're not showing, then just take the covers off, all of them, or you can do one at a time, whichever makes you happier. And then set a second dimensional right on top. And I do try to get the second dimensional going in the same direction as the first dimensional. You know what I mean? So point down or point up or whatever's happening there, I try to mimic it with the top dimensional. It just keeps it a little tidier. And then you can just take the covers off here and put your sentimente on. Like so, approximately like so. And see, by doing the double dimensionals, you don't get a big hump. Let me see what I'm showing you here. Let me stand up so I can see what I'm showing you. If you didn't have double dimensionals, you would have a big hump right here where that bow is. Okay, by doing the doubles, it's skimming over the top of your bow. All right, okay, side. Okay, now here comes the persnickety part. Straight up, it's persnickety, but it is so worth the effort, I promise. How many times? A few, and I did do some flops, and the good news is I did mine on camera as flops. So, you know, just practice them, trust me. The good news about it is it's deliberately messy, right? So if it's deliberately messy, you can make it be almost anything you want. Here's another trick you can try. Do a half of one. So do twice around 4 fingers and then twice around 2 fingers. That's a little less thread to kind of wangle around and get the feel of that. Do it the same exact way, but only use twice and twice, okay? That'll just give you a chance to kind of, you know, figure it out. All right, now I'm going to use these loose frosted dots because I love them. I love them, love them, love them. And for me, it is absolutely worth the persnicketyness of putting them on here. So I'm going to. And if you want to drop off now because you're like, oh my God, there she goes again with those dots, then you can do that, but I hope you won't. All right, I love these. They are so pretty. They come in Pretty Peacock, and they come in, to be quite honest, I'm not sure if I think it's Flirty Flamingo. Or maybe they just call it pink. Whatever it is, I love it. And the other thing I've noticed is they've got a backing on the dots. So you can't really see the glue through it, which is awesome. Now, I don't like this big one right here. So I'm going to pick it up, maybe. I'm going to pick it up, maybe. There we go. And put it over here. And I'm going to use a smaller one of those. They come in several sizes, from small to medium to large. And I wanted a medium there. And then I'm going to use one of these yellow ones, I'm going to find a little yellow one. There we go. There's one. Absolutely pull out your take a pick, putty end. I promise you're going to want it. Just saying. I mean, you do you, but it is a lot easier. And you know me, I'm always reaching for that tweezers, but this is not the application for the tweezers, I promise. All right, let's see. Let's put one of these little pink ones right here. There we go. Stay. And then we're going to do another small one. And I think I'm going to do another dark one right there because I like that. I did a yellow one on my sample, but I'm going to go like that. And then let's see, we're going to put a couple down here. I promise you, this is harder than making the bow, I promise. And it's still not very hard. It's just a little bit time consuming. Now, when you're doing these, I like to have not the same, like if I have 2 or 3 together, I don't want them to be the same size. Even if they're different colors, I want them to be different sizes. That is just me. So you can do however works the best for you. And I like the pops of, this uses like 6 different colors, this card does. So there's a lot of color going on here, and that is so cool and fine. Okay, and then we're going to put one right here on the card, on the Sentimente. And let's see, let's do, it helps, it's a lot easier, just, this is just a note, and you can certainly do however you want, but it's a lot easier if you can grab one from the round side, so you're not trying to flip it. Okay, there we go. And that's our card front. Hey, Dory. Appreciate you joining. I know, Kathy, these are amazing, amazing. Yay, Veronica, you got the stylish shapes. Yay! I'm so glad. I keep waiting to pull it up for a customer, and I keep waiting for it to say not available, and I'm like, no, please. Okay, so that's our card front. For the inside, what I did is I took the largest of the stitched rectangles and just cut a white panel, and then I'm just going to cut, I'm not going to cut anything more. Nope. I'm stamping the large flower from Irresistible Blooms in Flirty Flamingo down in the corner. And why don't I be real efficient? You know me, I'm an efficiency expert. Anybody who's watched any of my videos ever knows that was funny because it's not true. And we're going to put it on the front of our envelope, preferably on the bottom corner, not the top corner. And we can put that away. I know, right, Monica? It is so worth the effort. It just is. These are really designed for shaker cards. I know this because they don't have adhesive on the back. If they were meant to be adhered to the card front, Stampin' Up! Would have put them on adhesive, little adhesive dots. They meant for them to be shaker dots. I like them like this. So you can do both of them. There you go. That's a very good idea, Kay. I could have done that. But think how much easier that would have been, and who wants that, right? Who wants to look like you know what you're doing when you're doing a video? All right, now I'm just going to take this little leaf dude in some soft sea foam, still not soft suede, and just stamp it coming in from the side like that. And then we'll do the same again on our inner liner. Like that. And that's all we're going to do. And I'm leaving this with no sentiment on the inside so that I can put whatever I like. This is actually a card that I will be using for people who are joining my team so that I can send them a welcome to the team email. And I have a few waiting. So you guys, y'all know there's 3 days left, right? 3. 1, 2, 3. That's 72 hours left in order to get in on the amazing joining special where you can get that mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine plus $175 worth of product for only $129. Or if you've already got a mini cutter, you can just do $99 for your starter kit, pick $175 in product, any product that you want, maybe it's this, and you get free shipping on the kit. And then after that, best deal yet, you get 20% off of everything you purchase. And I don't know if people realize this because I think sometimes they don't. You get that 20% in addition to all the customer discounts. So anything on the clearance rack, you get the clearance price plus 20% off. Anything on a bundle, 10% off on a bundle, you get the bundle price plus your 20% off. So anything the customers get, we can do too. All right, so it's a double dipping. You're double dipping all the time, and it's completely legal. The IRS won't even come see you. No, it's totally legal. Thank you, Deborah. Hey, Dory from Germany. Appreciate you coming. All right, so I'm just going to finish up my envelope by putting some of that pretty paper on the envelope flap. Now, please note, this paper is the one that I used to cut my flowers. I'm not going to use its side up. I'm just going to use the other side. And I think that's pretty fine because it's really in all the same color tones. So you could pretty much use any DSP in the set, I think, to decorate your envelope flap, and you'd be good to go. All right, we'll give it a little bitty rub, a little bitty rub, and then we'll get out our fussy cutters and do the world's easiest fussy cutting, where we practice our turn the paper with our holding hand, not with our cutting hand, and keeping the paper right up against the fulcrum of the scissors. cutting your envelope flap is a great way to practice your fussy cutting. I'm just saying. So there you go. This is the Irresistible Blooms bundle with its matching dies and the Hello Irresistible DSP, plus the Basics 3D embossing folders, all of which you can get on Wednesday. Or if you decide to join between now and then, you could pick it as part of your starter kit. All right, guys, I appreciate it. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I hope we'll see you on Thursday. And I'm going to start figuring out how to do this via Zoom, because I think that would be so cool. All right? Thank you all. Appreciate you. Have a good rest of your day. Ta.